Today's video is going to be a Quicksilver Mac that is going to have a processor upgrade, and I'm also going to toss in this High Point PCIX SATA controller. In addition to that, I'm going to see if I can get this Broadcom NIC as well as these other Broadcom NICs. I've got two of those to recognize. I'm basically just going to fill this thing with peripherals. I'm going to try to get the dual NICs to recognize. Yeah. Anyhow, so that video card's there. I'll eventually replace that. You can enjoy my jank fix because the fan on it was jiggling. So I just took a small fan I had on the shelf and tossed it in there. I've kitted the RAM out in this thing to the max, 1.5 gig. This is a SCSI controller. I tossed a 15,000 RPM 78 gig drive in here just because. There's also a solid state drive the operating system lives on. I'm honestly just having fun. I had this card sitting on the shelf, the SCSI card. So this is actually going to be my bench card in case I need to get data off any old SCSI drives. That's the only reason I really wanted the proof of concept and test it. I'll probably end up yanking that drive out because it draws a crap ton of power. It doesn't need to. Airport card I added in, worthless because it's 8021B and, worthless. But, here we are. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove the CPU heatsink. And on this particular machine, what we have to do is we undo two screws here in the back, and this fan assembly will lift out. And then these clips you have to push down on, and I have to get a tool in here and then pull out. And you got to do it on both sides. You can't just do it on one side and then lift the chip off because it's got these homers, or homing points, aligners. I don't know what to say. These guys right here. So what these do is they actually penetrate the board. It's a little nub and it goes through the board. So you got one in that corner and one here. So until you release all of these tabs, this heatsink will not come off. So what we're going to do, we're going to release that tab, we'll unscrew these, and then the CPU module looks like this. And it's got this little massive pins underneath. We'll check and make sure they're all aligned. The last one I had to take a mechanical pencil, or no, a pair of tweezers, sorry. These are like curved little flat pins. So I took a pair of fine iFixit tweezers and kind of twist the pins back. It's terrible, but it worked. So anyway, we're going to pop this guy off and get him upgraded. Start by removing the screws on back of this fan assembly, and the bench is not the clearest right now, but you know what? I can undo a screw without looking. That is a skill I have. Don't have many, but I can do that. Put that one on the mag mat. This one. Put that on the magnetic mat. Okay. Down. I'm going to take this jumper off right there. So CPU fan, I'm going to just kind of thread that cable back underneath and lift this guy out. I'm going to set it back here on the back of the workstation. Okay, CPU is now relatively exposed. And I have here, throwing stuff around. Okay. The way I did this last time, and it is not something I like. I wish I could tell you there was a better way to do this that I had found, but I have not. So, judge as ye may. It's just the way it's going to get done. So I'm using the metal spudger from the iFixit toolkit, and I'm going to put it underneath the aluminum on the heatsink. And I'm going to get where I can get enough tension to pull back on it as I push down. I need to separate it away from the circuit board. Yeah, see? Like that. I made it look easy, but the first time I did this, it took way longer because I was worried about damaging the printed circuit board, and then I was like, okay, I guess I just have to be a little bit more violent with this thing. It likes the abuse. I compared to I'll make you breathe. Come on. Yeah, I don't want to. I should mention I don't want to damage this PCB. I'm still fond of this CPU module, so I'm gonna have to lean over and like get on the backside and. It's the same thing, just more annoying. So I'm going to pause the camera so you can just stare at my back this whole time. Okay, pro tip. For the very back corner, I used my pliers with the long wedging instrument, and I was able to push down and then twist with the pliers in the back, and it actually removed instantly that time. So Yeah, that's not the most beautiful process, and it's disgusting. So anyway, we're going to pull off this chip, or this heatsink. I'm just going to lift it off. And there it is. That may look like it's not factory thermal paste, because it is not. I put that on there. Some cheap Amazon thermal paste I had sitting around, because it doesn't care. It doesn't get that hot. Okay, so let's go ahead and remove this CPU. Oh, I want to do something. Yeah? Well, I'm going to at least treat it with some respect. I don't want to lose the original chip that came with this box. I'd prefer to have it remain in the world of the living. So I will take the normally what I consider absurd precautions in a semi-humid environment. I do not live in a dry climate, so normally not a problem for me to have to worry about. So move the screws. Ooh. Throw this guy over here. There we go. And then trick with this, we're just going to lift up, and you can actually see the connectors here on that end. So I'm just going to give it a little upward motion. Try to get it. There you go, straight up. Okay. See on the bottom of the board? Yeah, there we go. 4K. Yeah, see. Little tiny pins. So if those get bent, you got to take some tweezers and kind of gently tweak them back in place. I'm going to lay this back on the anti-stat mat in the back. Okay, and I'm going to open the new part and we're going to lay it in. 1 second. Okay, this is going to be a little bit faster. So we're going to drop this board in, and hopefully when I'm done I can install Mac OS 10. Oh, I already see a problem. You guys see that? Tested my ass. Look at that. This came from eBay, but look at those pins. And the fargle is that? I'm not putting that in my socket. That looks like corrosion. Well, looks like we're going to be doing some shmoo cleaning before I do anything with this. Whew, smells. All right, let's do it one more time. There's also some crud on back if you look here. Just give it a good hit. I did not want to take Chemtech wipes to this, but does this stuff come off? Oh, look at that. I am not sure what's going on there. It almost looks like it's been written on with a Sharpie or something. I don't know, guys. I really don't know if I'm going to put that in my box. I just don't know. I got one more thing to try. The nice thing about optics is that magnifying glasses still work for camera lens. Look at that. Not coming off at all. Kind of laughing at me. I even got desperate and I thought I'd take a brass brush to it and just kind of go along with the pins. Because, you know, whatever, it's already shot at this point. I'm not going to put this in my system. Crap. I guess CPU upgrade's going to have to wait. I probably should have waited before I pulled my current one off. But maybe I'll still take a whack at it. I don't know. Crap. You know, I was going to consider throwing the old chip back in, but at this point, Get the chair moved. I'm so frustrated with this thing. I'm going to just toss this guy in. I'll do a quick test. We'll see if he posts. And if so, then we'll carry on. No fuss, no muss. I doused this thing in contact cleaner. I did try cleaning it with a brush to an extent that it should definitely be quite a bit cleaner than it was. I'll do one quick look over here, make sure the pins are still aligned good. Yep. Everything's got the predictable bend to it still and looks good, so I'm going to lay this board on and we're going to see what happens. And have we supremely cocked this up or not? That's going to be our true test, right? Is it going to post? And because it's not a PC, I can't exactly throw a postcard in there, can I? So let's go ahead and get this guy. So whenever I was in school, these were machines I hated because they were slower than old crap. And were locked down with some terrible school software. And then later in life, worked at a place where we had production and video, and then started falling in love with them for Final Cut and getting to work with Xserves and some of the other hardware that would come out later on. And I really was quite happy with this gear. I decided I liked it quite a bit. That all being said, I don't think I'd call myself an Apple fanboy by any stretch of the imagination. I'm going to go ahead and paste this. I'll be right back. Alright, got my Chinesium thermal paste. Got just a little bit of isopropyl. There's a plastic protector on the outside of the die to prevent me from shorting anything out, thankfully. So I can be a little derp with my application and not cause too much damage. I'm going to go ahead and clean off the heatsink now. Okay, heatsink has been cleaned. Chinese thermal paste has been applied. Little string right there down the center, and we're going to drop this heatsink right back in place. And because I've got those locator holes, it's a little easier. Are we getting interference here? Am I hitting on something? Well, that's just how it's going to sit. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and see if we post. Video's hooked up on the monitor there. Heatsink, I'm just going to kind of keep some pressure on here and monitor temperature with my hand. Well, that makes me happy. I have a dew. You got video? Oh, that SCSI hard drive makes a fun noise. Holy cow. Even with all that rust. And it booted. Holy cow. Okay, was not expecting that at all. Turn it down in the nice way, and then I guess I'm going to finish adding components. I didn't think that was going to work. It did. That's the CPU upgrade. Well, now that that's reattached, fan is put back in. Toss in this brand new mint-in box. I opened this part. High point 4-channel RAID controller that is compatible with the Mac. So I should also mention the reason I'm having to do this is because the motherboard on this guy doesn't recognize drives above like 125 gig at all. Also, you would not believe, I still hate this, that there's PCI X and PCI Express. The fact that PCI X ever existed made me angry when I was building servers because it existed at a time that very quickly PCI Express started existing. And you would often find marketing materials where they were confusing the two, and it was so hard. You'd have to look at pictures and see, okay, there we go. That's definitely PCI X. It's got the extra notches in it, not PCI Express. But still makes me angry. So going on eBay trying to find one of these, and then the Mac enthusiasts out there have apparently they're just crazy. Like they'll pay hundreds of dollars. I paid $40 for this. I'm not paying. Anyhow, this is all. I don't pay tons of money for my retro gear. I buy it old, or I find something. But there are a couple models out there that they go after the Mac enthusiasts, and they spend a fortune. And I'm like, well, this works. I've used this. So you want to do an unboxing? Unboxing on top of the box. Ooh, look. SATA cables from 2005. Ooh, or whenever this thing was made. Oh, low profile bracket. Ooh. There's the card. Is there software slash? Ooh, yes, there is. There's our high point manual and software. Might need that because I don't know if I'm going to find drivers these days. So I'll archive that ISO on my server. Now, if I was building a PC server, I would talk about where I'm going to put the activity lights, and I would have to bother looking at the pinout and tossing that pinout on to these activity leads here. And that looks like signal ground. That might actually be like a I2C bus connector, maybe for a chassis backplane. I don't know. I didn't use High Point a whole lot. I'm more of a 3-wire guy, and then it became LSI, and then they became Broadcom now. They keep changing names. I'm going to install this guy right below the video card, right above the SCSI card. Because, it'd be better. Yo. Let's go ahead and undo this giant SCSI cable. There we go. Out of the way. Let's remove the shim. Drop in the RAID card. By the time I get done with this, I want it to be real Franken Mac. Kind of just seeing how much stuff I can shove in this thing. And make it a very, very happy old computer. So I guess what we're going to be doing at some point here next is going to be, can I install an operating system to this? And it's not really the worst, because like right now I have the SATA drive hooked up through an IDE to SATA bridge little chip. So like it's using an IDE. Sorry, I'm gonna move this guy right here. 1 second. Pan up there. So right here, we are actually using an IDE connector that's going to SATA to go to a SATA solid state. So worst case scenario, I can't boot from this, but I can have extended arrays that are actually running a modern hard drive. Not like a care holdout though, again, because I'm already running on solid state drive, and if I needed extra space, I can use a server. But this at least gives me the option to have internal storage for, I don't know, reasons. So that being said, let's add in our network cards. I have one Apple branded card, but it's a single port. Now the Broadcom chip on this I found also on these cards, and they have 2 ports. So 2 ports, 1 port, 2 ports, 1 port, 2 ports. I'm gonna toss 2 of these cards in the box here, because I can, and I find it funny. So I will not stop until every single port on this motherboard is full, for no reason at all. And I've kept the strap on. I usually don't keep my ESD strap on after I do something at CPU because I just don't care, but at this point, it's already on my wrist. Why take it off? Let's pull out the first Broadcom card here. These were on eBay for the cheap. Let's see what this is here. If you guys want to home, there's the chipset. All right. Nothing too fancy. I'm going to drop that guy in there. These are such long card slots. Get that guy aligned here and pop him down in. The second one. I'm going to turn this into a router. That's what's going to end up happening. It's going to be my not router. It's going to have just a stupid number of ports. I was just trying to figure out what I would use to fill the other Ethernet ports. I was like, you know what? I should put some network cards in it, because why not? Part of the reason why I do this with some of the older systems I've got, if I can find the hardware, now it's easy to find. Whereas in 10 years, those PCIX cards might not be so easy to find. In worst case, I decide I hate this project. I take all these cards out of it and I put them in something else. But right now, where they're in circuit, they're relatively protected. Not only are they inside of a chassis, but you know, they're protected from harm from virtually anything else interacting with them. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug up a keyboard and mouse, and we're gonna see what the operating system actually picks up. I've made the possibly erroneous assumption that because this RAID card was built for Mac, it doesn't require drivers. So let's find out. I'm gonna pause the screen real quick while I log in, so I don't want my username showing up, and then we'll walk through what network cards we see. So I want you to check this out. Now this monitor is garbage, so I apologize. Its gamma is way off, but so we're running 10.4.11 right now. But now instead of the 733 megahertz chip, we are now at 867 megahertz, which will allow me to upgrade to the newest version of the I say newest version. It'll allow me to upgrade to like 10.5 instead of 10.4. And with 10.5, I can also install Apple Server 10.5, which is what I was wanting to. But look, the network ports have been detected, which is funny because this single standalone card with the Apple branding on it would not work. So, okay, pretty awesome. I have new ports now. Okay, well, that was it. So CPU has been upgraded. Kind of give you guys a close-up view of the box. So his PC 133, 512 sticks. So that's a total of 1.5 gig. At PC 133, there is my terribly taped fan that I just IDGAF, man. But that thing, I'll replace it at some point with something else. And then there's the oh my god, my brain right now. SATA. It's the SATA card. And I'll mess with that later. That really wasn't the objective here. And then the RAID card, SCSI, and my two Ethernet cards. I'm sorry, it's 12:35 right now. It's been a busy day, so I mean it's 12:35 in the morning. Looking forward to going to bed here soon, but there you go. CPU upgrade on an old Quicksilver Mac. Less painful than you might imagine, and apparently it will run with rust. And I did spray a filthy amount of contact cleaner in there, but yeah, there you go. See you later.